Hello, hello there, hello strangers. Yeah, welcome to my inner sanctum, room that I've never really showed before, or if you don't like my music, my inner rectum. But anyway, first and foremost, my last video I did in relation to my old content, I must have got about 50 comments, and they were wonderful. They literally they brought a tear to a glass eye. I mean that most humbly. So it shows I've also been doing something right for all of these years. And after reading the comments, it just reconfirmed to me that I am doing the right thing by just knocking all that stuff, all the Doomsday Cult stuff, and former members of Doomsday Cult who formed their own cult on the head. I could spend the next half an hour reading the comments, but they're all there if anybody wants to read them. And I massively appreciate all the well wishes for what I'm going to do in the future, of which this is the introduction video to. And there's somebody who, lots of people privately tweeting me, sent a message to me through Twitter, even offering, for me and my wife to go on holiday to Spain. I can't, dear me, absolutely so generous. But I'll just, somebody called Bike Collector, which I've recognised his name from being on that extensive thread, which I'll never ever go again to read. He says, it could be she, I don't really know. It says, everybody needs to eventually move on from the XJW world. I have not watched any of the YouTube videos in weeks because there is so much more to life than to keep focusing on the past. I would much rather treasure the people I have met along the way. And I think that is exactly how I feel. I think through doing the channel, the previous content, I got to correspond to a lot of interesting people, engage with them, and a lot of people put a lot of comments on it, which really made me feel appreciated. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my conversational chat or my honesty and my observations on life and things that have happened in the past. But obviously I must have been doing something right. And I'm going to continue the same manner in what I'm now going to do. So just to explain, I did say I was going to knock it on the head, the whole Doomsday Cult on the head, which I am. I'm never going to talk about what's going on or what I used to believe or anybody else again. But I'm going to concentrate on music, as everybody knows that music has kept me going through some really dark times in my life. And even the 28 years that I was in the Doomsday Cult, I have to reference that. Because of course I met a lot of people who introduced me into a lot of music, of which some of them are my favourite songs ever. And obviously I can't ignore the people and the places where I was. So definitely as I talk about certain songs, it will go back to those 28 years, but that's all it will do, just reference them. It won't talk about anything else, because I don't want to do that ever again. And I want to do this because I feel this will be a more positive use of my time. I'm not going to spend too long. I've got a lot of interesting stories in relating to some of these songs, some of the bands I'd liked. Been lucky that I've met them. There's a lot of things I was thinking about, that some of the coincidences in relating to certain bands and music and me seem otherworldly. It's like, what a coincidence. And I'm just going to put that down to synchronicity, and it keeps on coming up time and time again. So if you don't know what synchronicity is, look it up, because that's the only way to explain some of these things, because it is a little bit mind-boggling sometimes. And the format's going to be is I'm going to select a particular song, and I'm going to talk about why this song means so much to me. And sometimes, as you know, there may be songs that we've had for a long time and we've heard of them, and then somehow a singular event happens and that is then welded to that song. So every time we hear that song in future, we go back to a time and a place or an event which beforehand there wasn't any connection. And there's certain songs as well that especially in darker times, it's as though the lyricist is actually talking about the life we're going through, our circumstances. It's though they're actually writing about us, which they aren't. But you get completely involved in the lyrics, and you think this is the only person who understands me, and it does really help sometimes when you're going through some real tough shit, which we all do. But I want to talk about the good times and the bad times, or just talk about a song being brilliant, because it is brilliant. I want this to be a collaboration that I will suggest a song, talk about it, give a link that you can either listen to the song or ask our little female box over there. I daren't say the name because it'll start speaking to me. And I've nearly enough got one. I've realised I've got 8 of these. I've got nearly enough every room of the house. So literally, I'll go into a room where I've got to potter around in 5 minutes, and then I'll ask it to play a song, because I just want music to always be helping me do sort of mundane shitness, basically. And I want to be a collaboration. That if I suggest a song, maybe somebody say, well, if you like this song, have you heard of this song by this band? And therefore my musical horizons will be increased. I want to leave the videos up so that even beyond the grave, hopefully I can influence people to like some really good music which maybe they hadn't thought of before, or just get an appreciation of why, especially for the family members, why granddad or great granddad really liked this particular song. So that's going to be it in future, and I'll hopefully be able to put up a couple of videos every couple of weeks, and they won't be long videos. They'll be quite short videos, depending if I've got a tale to tell. And I want to also talk about the particular artists involved in a lot of the times, because some of the interesting things that the extra stories involved into making songs makes the appreciation of the song so much more when you know what went into making it, or the circumstances around the song's creation. If I know those facts, I don't know them all, but I know quite a few. So anyway, that's going to be it. I'm going to do one this afternoon probably, and hopefully you'll stick around if you like my manner of. It'll probably be back done in the kitchen, because it's easier to lean on the table. It's easier to lean on the kitchen table than swivelling in this seat. But I'll just show you around this room, for those who may be interested, so you can get an idea of what's actually in here. I'll just take you on a tour. I'm hopefully not sounding like you know who at this point, but I'm going to take you on a wee tour of the room. If we can get this camera off. How would you get this camera off? Oh, that's it. So basically, I'll turn the camera around so I can see what we're doing here. Is it in focus? Oh, there we go. So as you can see, I'm a bit of a Lord of the Rings fan, and I bought these things from a company called Sideshow Weta, who make these statues. And when it first came out, basically I went OTT and bought all these wonderful statues. It does carry on over here. As you can see, there's lots of statues of the Lord of the Rings, and now these are all out. They're all limited editions, they're all out of stock, and some of them are worth a bit of money, and some of them sadly have received a little bit of damage from time to time. Yes, shame about the top of Gandalf's stuff there. Here, just a quick show of my guitar. I'll talk about these guitars because everyone's got a lovely wee story, especially a lot of them were bought during those 28 years as well. There's my effects pedals over there. There's my bass amp over there. There's my guitar amp over there. Here's a massive, great big keyboard which somebody gave to me for nothing, and you can actually do a wonderful sounds on it, which absolutely recreate the sound that Howard Shore did in the theme for the Hobbits in Lord of the Rings. Over here is where the magic usually happens, but this year there's no magic happening at all, purely because I haven't had the time to do anything. So basically, just to explain, that is a drum machine. This is my 32 track reporter studio, so you can do I don't do 32, I usually literally leave it about 20 tracks. That's how I make my music. Here is the machine here that actually makes me sound not as shitty as a singer as I actually am, because it's a reverb unit. And unbelievably, this unit here this little here, these two speakers, unbelievably, I still use them as mixing monitors for when I mix the songs, and I bought them in 1980, so they are 42 years of age. Incredible. That's a printer, it's got nothing to do with me, but I do print things on it. And over here is my vast CD collection here, so that's some of it. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room here, so that's where this is where I do my main songwriting on this keyboard here, which is I actually bought it for Benjamin, but as he's in Australia, I'm keeping it for the moment. And as you can see, there's more CDs underneath there. All those CDs are on my classic iPod, which is over here, which I've actually got 3 of those. And up here, the favourite things I do stream a lot of songs now, but I do a lot with box sets. I love box sets. It's an extremely cheaper way of getting a lot of artists work together. So there's a lot of box sets there. There's a hell of a lot of CDs, and there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, so that's it. So where were we? So basically, I will probably hello. I will probably see you this afternoon when I'm going to talk about the first song that I'm going to talk about. And the first song I'm going to talk about is actually a song by a band called Badfinger. And what a story to tell about that band, and the synchronicity around that as well. So I'm going to say goodbye now. I hope you will enjoy what I do from now on. I know it's going to make me feel a lot more positive and happier talking about music, which I love. And yeah, I hope you stay along for the ride. I appreciate all the wonderful comments, as I've said, on the last video, but it's upwards and onwards now, and we need to crack on and do things which are a better use of my time. I'd rather talk about music. I literally could talk about music all the time, as you've already gathered, because it's so big. I'm just going to do a final I just want to could I just go back. Just go back to this guitar here. This is a Gretsch. This is a Gretsch guitar. And you know what? I literally walked past the doors behind me, and this poor guitar must be, if it could only speak, it'd probably just say, why don't you come and play me? Look at it. Look, look at the dust there. That's how long I played that Gretsch guitar. It's a sin. But anyway, hopefully, once I can get all the decorating done and blah 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 blah, I can actually start playing some music again. And that poor bass there, I've not played all year, and I bought that in 1980 as well. That's 42 years of age. Incredible. And it's actually probably the instrument that I love playing more than anything else, which is that bass. But anyway, that was it. They went a little longer than I was supposed to do, but it's a short introduction, so we'll just end up with a view. It's a horrible day today. Let's look out the window. Let's look out the window, and that's my neighbour's boat under there. That's my neighbour's boat. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, it's a bit of a crap for you, but hey ho, when the sun's out, it's lovely. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Speak to you later.